Hello, everybody. Hello, I am Professor Pixel here once again on Mad Men with a box. And joining me, of course, as always, is Oz Chris.
Hello, I'm back. I've never left, but I'm back.
No. Guess who is back? It's
back.
Landry the Blue. So, what were you before? Because Gandalf dies, he becomes Gandalf the White. So were you just Landry? You died and became Landry the Blue?
What's the dull version of blue?
Jimmy. They sent me back to Landry. Since Landry has been AWOL, I am Jimmy Reborn. Jimmy returns.
Jimmy Reborn.
Jimmy, as he should have been, blue.
Well, you know how he feels about Avatar.
I don't.
He loves Avatar. You talk bad about it, he will hunt you down.
I was thinking about the anime Avatar.
The good one.
That's the good one. Okay. We're talking about the James Cameron.
I walked out of that first one and never saw the second one, so
you did good.
That's why I'm Jimmy Perfected. I understand Avatar is not.
You win.
This is why Jimmy isn't. It's worth mentioning that this is why Jimmy isn't with us. Is that he had a crisis of faith and realized Avatar was never good, and and now he's questioning to be true.
He's okay. He's okay. He's just a little under the weather. He
didn't crash the car again. He didn't make a TikTok of it. He's fine.
What happened?
So last week we're like, where's Jimmy? He's not here. And then he's just like, oh yes, show this video. And he crashed his car.
He's okay from that?
Yeah, he was fine.
I saw him.
Okay. Yeah, he was fine. He was so fine that he made a TikTok of it within minutes. I crashed my cars, guys.
I'm out of the loop. I for those many listeners who've been so obviously concerned about me, I was AWOL with COVID for 5 weeks in a quarantine situation, so I'm back.
He's back.
Infectious.
5 weeks. Did you get like every strain and it just?
I had
pushed you
double
back another
COVID.
Week?
I had COVID and I stopped having COVID and then I had COVID again immediately, which is like rebound COVID. And they say, well, you got to stay quarantined. I'm like, okay. So I did. Lots of quarantine. I don't know.
He made wizards.
I did. I can't.
Now I have to pull them up. I have to go ahead and show the wizards.
See? Wizards. There's a cabinet full of them over there.
There's so many wizards.
I did the hair myself. I glued that beard onto that face. That's actually an Iron Man villain. It's
not from your beard, right? You didn't need your own hair. Okay, good.
Yes, I cultivated it. No, it's Benton's lamb's wool. I had so much time. I learned how to make dolls. I had nothing to do for 5 weeks.
Do you feel better for it?
I feel different. I came back blue.
Listen up. Here's the story. Anyway, we are obviously here for Mad Men with the Box. We do enjoy our little chats, but for this week's episode, of course, we have major news. And at the end of the show, we're going to go ahead and review Name of the Doctor, the 11th Doctor story that leads straight into the 50th anniversary. What a timely discussion. But before that, let's go ahead and go into the news. Within the past week, we have had some major birthdays. And because Jimmy only sent the doctor's birthdays into the Twitter group, we're going to show the third first Doctor.
The third first Doctor, yes. David Bradley.
He had a birthday.
Or as BBC would like to think, the only first Doctor.
It's very weird. It's very odd. But a happy birthday to him. And of course, the current Doctor, the 14th Doctor, David Tennant.
This is my favorite time. because now David Tennant is older than me again. He's
Finally,
like 4
the
months
doctor's
than
older than me.
It's what everyone lives for. Listen, have you had a doctor be younger than you yet? It's a dark moment.
No.
How old is Shooty Gatwa?
Actually, yeah. How old is Shooty?
That's a good question.
The companion's younger than me.
Oh,
No, Shooty's older than me. Shooty's 30. So.
Okay. We're still younger than the doctor, but we're older than the companion.
Yeah.
I know there wasn't a doctor younger than me until Matt Smith. So, that bastard.
There you go. He was pretty young. He was pretty young, and he played a very old doctor. But yes, happy birthday to them. But also including, of course, Jackie. I can't remember her real name.
Camille Coudry.
Thank you.
Yep, it was her birthday.
The master,
Eric. The master. Eric Roberts. Jeez, everyone's having their birthday. It was also Peter Capaldi's as well.
Very true. Very true. Can you say that again?
Peter Capaldi?
No. Go back.
Master?
Yes. It's just something in the way you say it. It sounds so wrong, but it sounds perfect. Of course, there was also a little bit from, I guess, David's wife, Georgina Tennant. I'm guessing that's what this is from. And I'm pulling up the images right now. If it'll load. There we go. Look who's having a lovely birthday. You see him in costume, eating cake, and that looks like a set back there. But according to Georgina Tennant, of course, don't get excited. He dresses like that for every birthday.
He's also on a set on every birthday.
That's right. That's right. So clever. Such a clever little lie. Landry.
Yes.
Have you heard the one of the latest castings at all, or have you been out of the loop?
I only learn things from you guys, and I've been gone. So,
well,
there
has. Well, it was last week. We had the announcement of a new cast member, a very famous drag queen by the name of Jinkx Monsoon.
Okay.
Yes. Was that last week? I feel like it was like probably a month ago.
No, it was last
week.
Almost
a month.
It just feels like a month, man.
No, it wouldn't have been last week. We didn't talk about it last week.
What did we talk about last week? Oh, you're right. Okay, it's been 2 weeks. Sorry. 2 weeks ago, she was announced. Well, it was pretty much today, I believe. They went ahead and revealed her costume. Your first look.
Now everyone is thinking like, oh, this has to be the Rani. I'm like, the Rani is camp, yes, not this camp. Rani is more mad. Rani is more mad scientist with a bit of camp added to it.
Yes, and you can clearly see the piano. So this is the Music Meister. Yes, hopping over into Doctor Who.
Russell's
that's
like, you know what? I'm gonna adapt a DC character.
Totally. That's now, a Russell move.
Another theory is a lot of people thinking that maybe Neil Patrick Harris's character is a new Time Lord villain, and with how he's dressed, one of his particular outfits is very conductor-like. And now we have Jinkx with like the piano outfit. A lot of people thinking that maybe they're the same character, just regenerated. Jinkx is the next incarnation. I don't know. That's another theory that's been going on. And hey, what's up, Crispy Pro, fellow Australian? I watched your Ace video today. Your Ace interview with Sophie Aldred.
Your Ace video was Ace.
I 100% hope it isn't a musical. I hate musicals.
See, I'm fine with it. You know, try something different. I'm okay with it.
That was so within the past 3 decades. We've moved past the age of musical episodes. We've moved past that era of television.
I grew up with Grease, which is terrible, and ever since then, no, I'm out. No more musicals.
No more musical.
I won't give him time of day.
What about Phantom of the Opera?
Oh God, no. Flip the table over.
Phantom of the
Ah,
Opera is
no.
great.
I hate musicals. I hate them. Loathe them. Every time
Now,
some TV show, we're doing a musical
a
episode.
sitcom episode of Doctor Who.
What? It would be crazy if they did a science fiction episode of Doctor Who.
A sitcom.
What if they did a time travel episode in Doctor Who? That would make everyone insane.
That would break.
All of Twitter would go into a meltdown. It's never been done before on Doctor Who. Russell T. Davies breaking new ground.
Well, what if they went to space?
Crispy, I hope you're writing this all down. I expect a video on this.
We only talked about the most important things here.
See, Jimmy is upset if we don't get a musical episode. See, as long as
Jimmy
it's
wants
written good,
this.
I'm fine with it.
Jimmy wants this.
Jimmy wants
does
this.
like
I'm
Avatar.
okay
It
with it.
breaks hard enough. Oh. Is it done?
No, it's right timing. Great. Apparently, RTD pretty much said on Instagram, Jinkx Monsoon as well. Who can that be? Leaving it a mystery, of course, but saying that there's so much terror that not everyone's getting out alive. Doctor Who 2024. Be on the lookout.
Now with the post with revealing Jinx's like character's outfit, those who put up that Jinkx will be playing one of the Doctor's most, I think it was like powerful enemies or greatest enemies, which I feel like is just like, when is there never an enemy that's the Doctor's greatest or most powerful at this point? But anyway,
yes, I agree. I think it'll be a new character. I don't think it'll be connected to Neil Patrick Harris. I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, this is a fake out." Maybe it'll be a fake out. I'm hoping for a fake out, but I really want it to be the Celestial Toymaker. Like, I want that really bad. Just you have Beep the Meep there. You're pulling out from all over the place. Why not just go back to one of those?
I would love to see Celestial Toymaker. That would be great.
Yes. Who's ready for some drama?
oh no, not drama.
Yes. Oh,
What's
yes. So, within this past week, a Doctor Who writer said that pretty much Peter Capaldi's era needed better stories. He goes on to say in the article that he could have done him so much better.
Which writer is this? Wait, who is this? Who said this?
Um,
I'll start fight.
Crap. Now I have to pull up the name. I had it in my mind.
People were saying it was the writer for Terminus.
Yes, for Terminus.
That Fifth Doctor story.
Stephen Gallagher. He wrote 2 stories, Warrior's Gate and Terminus. That's it.
That's it. So both the companion departure stories.
Yeah.
I mean, wait, Warriors Gate and Terminus?
Yeah.
And he's criticizing other writers?
Exactly.
I'm just going to say, you know what? It is exceedingly bad form he should just, no.
Not said anything. Yeah.
No, he should have said nothing on that.
He could have just said, "I would have
okay,
liked
no.
to. I would have liked to write for Capaldi."
Since he opened the door on criticizing other writers, let's look at his.
Just
Next
Warriors
week,
Gate.
we're talking about Warrior's Gate,
We've already
which
talked
has
about
furries.
Terminus.
Fucking furries. Sorry.
We should do that.
But also, the reason why Gallagher's name is, well, I won't say prominent, but his name is coming up because he is revisiting Warrior's Gate. He's writing Warrior's Gate as a Target novelization. So he's revisiting it basically. And yeah, man, it's
bad
just
form.
not cool. He could have
bad.
said that he didn't think the writing was great for Capaldi. I would have disagreed, but still, I think there's so many great episodes in Capaldi's era. But I digress.
Well, he should also understand that, you know, criticizing writers. I mean, these writers under tremendous pressure. You know, we have no idea what any one of these writers. Anytime we watch one TV show, is the writer responsible for things we don't like, or is somebody in production on a higher level responsible?
So
you know, writers are not in charge. Producers are in charge.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the article actually, because I know I'm saying this with a come on, man, you wrote this. But the line that comes into question, I also think that his seasons needed better stories than he got. I would have done him right, which could have been in jest. Like reading it, I can almost hear that. Like, oh, I think his seasons probably needed better stories. I would have done him right, you know.
He needed to fight lion people.
Yeah.
That's
right.
See. He needed more. He needed more people. He needed more lepers in his series.
He needed more furries. Furries before furries were furries. Sorry.
Need Black Guardian back.
You also have to think about these. Stuff. This is the man who writes the oddest exits. Just, oh, we have this female companion that's disappearing. Can you please write them off forever? Well, not forever.
Yeah, and
it's like,
he what?
Romana, I'm going to stay here and help the Tharrels.
Yeah, Romana, I'm going to stay here.
Didn't he give Nissa super cancer?
He did give Nissa super cancer, didn't he?
Yeah.
I cured her with radiation.
Yep, and then she's like, I'm going to stay here and help find a cure.
So yeah, buddy. Listen.
Although, to be fair, I think Sarah's son was going to leave anyway, or... I know, I can't remember the story.
Well, I'm sure the actress decided to leave, just the way they exited her. But that's it, Liz. I mean, there is not a single era of Doctor Who that does not have bad episodes. Every one of them has some misses. Some of the seasons have more misses than others. Some of them don't. You know, it's just enjoy what is good in there, unless you're going. And if you're working on Doctor Who, if you're working on Doctor Who currently, like he's doing a novelization, that means he is currently a Doctor Who writer. Don't slag off on other Doctor Who writers. Then don't. It's not cool.
Yeah.
I'm not writing Doctor Who, so I get to say whatever the hell I want.
That's true. But you wish you were.
If I have mixed feelings about that. You know, I've done Star Wars, I've done Batman. It is nice. These things you don't look at them the same afterwards. And while I've pursued writing Doctor Who and it hasn't worked out, there's a part of me that is a little bit relieved because I can sit here and enjoy it in the same capacity. There's nothing's changed. I'm still a fan. You know, there's something to be said for that.
Well, speaking of writers who say that things could probably be a little better written, Chris Chibnall said that he expects his Doctor Who stories to be contradicted. He's already said this. This isn't really news.
They all are.
Yeah. He contradicted other people's stories. That's how it works.
Yeah.
See, Chibnall contradicted Moffat. Moffat then contradicted Davies. I'm sure Davies contradicted a lot of the classics, or a few of the classics. Like, that's the problem with Doctor Who canon. Is just this. It's not It's not a straight line, and there's always so many contradictions. Like, how many origins of Time Lords do we have? We have too many. And then Chibnall decided, let's add another one.
Let's do it again, boys.
Well, I'll give Chibnall this. He was consistent with the things he claimed when he was a teenager on live TV. about how to fix Doctor Who. He was wrong, and he was wrong then. He was wrong when he finally did it. But consistency in his opinion, I do respect that.
I find it so funny that he basically went ahead and said that trial went ahead as a teenager, trial of a Time Lord, and decided once he was writing again, well, you know what? For this season, let's just not do separate episodes. Let's make it one big event. Let's write it as one big event.
I mean, young Chibnall was very angry at him.
Yes, yeah. Young Chibnall is saying it could have been a little better written.
Could have been better written.
That's right. Sorry, Chip. No, I'm not. Who likes Fortnite? Not me. I don't know why I raised my hand. But there's leaks, boys. Apparently, we're getting more Doctor Who Fortnite stuff. We're getting a look right here. That's supposed to be the psychic paper used for emotes, I guess. And as pickaxes, you can have a Dalek arm, which is just a plunger.
It's just a plunger.
But a sonic staff. And the end of the staff does look a bit like the leaked set that pictures that we've seen of 14's new sonic screwdriver with the little cage thing.
We've seen leaked pictures of 14's. Oh, okay, hold on. I haven't seen.
They're very blurry.
This was ages ago, I think.
This was a long time ago.
Away. I never looked this stuff up. All right. Okay.
I would have to scroll so far in our chat to find anything about that. We've lived so many lifetimes, including one that we don't address.
I don't know if you've got it, but another big leak is apparently that 14 is not referred to as 14.
Yes, right here.
Yeah.
We have a script that goes ahead, and it sounds like it might actually be an on-set them filming them. You know how Star Wars decided to announce Palpatine's
Return.
message to the galaxy. So imagine that. But the Edge Doctor is how he's referred to. Walks from behind the console to center view, flipping switches in a rapid manner, his hands glowing a golden yellow. The TARDIS hums and shakes violently. The Doctor falls to the floor in feedback. Interior lights begin to flicker. What? And then, I didn't realize that this part didn't have the important part. Here it is. He says, "What again?" Dashes to the entrance, reaches for the door, and two TARDISes are facing each other, and they both swing open. The Edge Doctor rushes out only to be faced with the 15th Doctor.
So Tennant is the Edge Doctor.
Yes, that's what they're implying.
But it's still counting him as the 14th because the 15th is Shooty.
Yeah.
So why would they give him two different titles?
Shooty is 15. This is what it confirms. Okay.
Well, it's just like the War Doctors should have bumped everything a number up. Maybe that's what happened.
But instead, this is bumping up a number. But it's not fixing it because it's another face.
Same problem. It is the same problem.
It's the problem again.
It's the same face. It's just a reset.
Yeah. It's fine. It looks like it. I want to see this scene. It sounds fun. I'll admit.
Oh, I mean, I don't want to shock you, but I think we're all going to watch it, right?
Oh, wow, really? We're all going to watch Doctor Who?
I think it's finally time I watch an episode of Doctor Who. Give it a shot. What do I need to know? What do I need to catch up on with this? How to, give me a recap.
Well, you can start at season 21, which ends with season 26. Then start series 1. Oh no, start the movie, then start series 1. And continue on to now.
No, this is good. I get to start with the what's his name? The end of the 5th Doctor and the guy with the black and white face. No, not Castor Baba. What's that called? I love that.
Caves
One.
of Androzani.
Yeah, best episode Fifth Doctor had.
One last thing, and this probably isn't real, but this is supposedly an image of what the 15th Doctor skin could look like. This could have been made by anybody, so I'm not sure I believe
Because
it.
around the same time, there was one saying like, "Oh yeah, Sacha Dhawan's master is going to be in the game. Here's the model," and everyone's like, "Yeah, that's just the John Wick model with a tie removed and a different head."
John Wick. Mr. Wick. John Wick 4 was good. Don't know if anybody's seen it.
Not yet, unfortunately.
My girlfriend is very upset that I saw it without her, but I had to see it. But yeah, so that's it. Doctor Who's coming to Fortnite again, boys.
Wow,
See, here's the thing.
Won't play it.
I won't play it either. Here's the thing, though. What I saw from the last time they had a crossover, the maps did look very cool. You had a giant like Cyberman that was on this island, and it was his top half, and he was massive. And then there was one other one, but I can't remember it. It was cool too. And who doesn't love a Dalek? Exterminate. Anyway, that is the news. The news is done. It's gone. No, Jimmy. RTD did not contradict the movie. The movie didn't say that. We refuse to acknowledge that it said that. I'm reading it.
I haven't acknowledged the half-human line.
I'm reading it. I didn't see it. I haven't seen it yet. So, when is he supposed to say that? When they're looking in the Eye of Harmony, right?
Well, the Master talks about it.
When
the Master talks about it.
When
I think like the Doctor mentions it, and then at the same time when the Master is spying on him, he's like, he's actually half human.
Yeah, he's spying on him through
the Eye of Harmony, yeah.
Through Li Cheng, though, right?
No, through the Doctor's eyes.
Yeah, but he can't do that. He has to have.
No, he has him open it, but then when the whole half human line comes out, when like the Doctor
doesn't say that. He doesn't say that in this book. This
in
book
the novel?
Is great. The novelization.
Gary Russell decided, that was kind of dumb. Let's not put that in.
Yes, that's right. So I am really enjoying the novelization. I'm very excited to check out some other ones. And actually, they're going to be quite a topic that I'm going to bring up when mentioning the name of the Doctor, which is the episode we're talking about today. But before we get to that, Sean saying RTD almost put in a line about having a one-day flu in response to the half-human thing. But we're going to talk about the name of the Doctor. 11th Doctor episode. The finale, basically, of Series 11.
11?
And Chris... Sorry, 7. 7-11.
Matt Smith being in Jodie's season. Her debut season.
Chris, take us away, please.
So name of the Doctor. I remember like everyone was very intrigued. Would they actually say his name? But that's not the whole point of the episode. No, it's not. I like this episode. I enjoyed it. I like it's the resolution and reveal of the whole Impossible Girl arc for Clara. Seemingly the end of the Great Intelligence. Who knows? Also kind of a one of many endings for River Song. Well, this is after she died, so kind of like an epilogue to River Song, for at least for the Doctor. I like the episode. I wish the Whispermen were used for something else.
They're really cool.
They're a really creepy kind of villain. So I wish they were used for something else instead of just like, they're just kind of here and look, if I destroy this body, I can take over a Whisperman to become a new one. It's like,
okay,
I guess.
I thought they were their own thing, but they're not.
They're not. Apparently not. They're all just extensions of the intelligence. Yeah, there's not really much to talk about this episode other than I liked it. Although if I had to nitpick on something, I don't like the fact that Clara is the one that chose the TARDIS for him.
Yeah.
I always liked in The Doctor's Wife is that they chose each other. The Doctor and the TARDIS chose each other. No, apparently, no, it was Clara.
You could see it as... You could see it as the great intelligence went ahead and made it so that he chose the wrong TARDIS to take.
She fixed it.
She fixed it. They chose each other, but then the great intelligence intervened, and that's why she's always there. She's where the great intelligence
stood. The great intelligence is overwriting the Doctor's history, is rewriting the Doctor's history, and she's fixing it. Right? That's the whole.
Yeah. So it's not a reveal that
it can exist.
Yeah,
she's not just writing a reset.
Yeah, it's not writing it. So, Clara was the one all along. It's Clara trying to fix the mess.
Yeah,
I guess you could have written it another way where she helped the Doctor, like, escape Gallifrey somehow.
You're taking the wrong call.
If and this is my problem. Every time they've talked about the Doctor leaving Gallifrey in the modern series, is that I always like the impression the Doctor left Gallifrey for one reason, for Susan, not for himself, but for Susan. Like, that was a problem. Like, why else would he take his granddaughter away from her home planet if there wasn't something going on regarding her? Take her away from her parents, take her away from her life, take her away from her childhood, and throw her into a hazardous situation on alien worlds repeatedly, unless he had motivation. It can't just be like, I decided I was bored and wanted to time travel, and I took my granddaughter and I stranded her on a planet full of Daleks, because who cares? That's a little weird.
Well, actually, no, it's because of the hybrid. That's why I ran away.
Hybrid. We cannot speak.
So
out of all the reasons for the Doctor to just leave his planet, the hybrid was just the most odd. It just made no sense.
Yeah,
if you just wanted to keep it simple with just the Doctor, him just not liking him being contained to a planet, just doesn't like his society's rules on not interfering, and he just wants to explore, fine. But this whole, there's this hybrid that's made of two warrior races, like, I have to leave Gallifrey now.
Yeah. So yeah, I think everybody just doesn't think about that. I don't even think the Doctor thinks about that. It's he pretty much at the end says, the hybrid. Who the hell cares, me? Nobody cares.
Yeah.
What if it's the two of you being together? Who cares? She's gonna wipe my mind in 10 seconds. Landry, your thoughts on the name of the Doctor?
Well, this is going to be interesting because, one, for some reason, I swore you told me we were doing Day of the Doctor. And so...
we did that live.
I missed it. So I have all sorts of opinions set up for that, which aren't useful here. I don't like... I'm in an unpopular space where I do not like Strax, Jenny, or what's her name? Madame Bastra. I loathe what that did to the Sontarans. It's funny. The characters are funny, but it made the Sontarans a joke.
It's only one
can't
Sontaran.
Do anything. What's that?
It's only one Sontaran. It's not all the Sontarans.
Right, but
you're generalizing, Landry. You're canceled.
It's I don't like them. I don't like when they show up. I don't think they're very interesting. I think that so right there I was a little like them again. Okay. And otherwise I'm kind of in the same place where it bothered me about Clara going into the timeline until we just kind of reframed it in this conversation. I hadn't thought of it in terms of she's not overwriting. She wasn't always there from the beginning, but she's just retroactively going back and writing the things that were overwritten. It's like, okay, so that bothers me less. Honestly, I found it to be fairly, and again, I'm out of the loop on this episode. I haven't watched it in years. I remember it, and I remember going, okay, that's fine. Some nice special effects. We get a great level in the Lego Dimensions game because of this episode. Because you get to run through the Trenzlore. Trenzlore is one of the levels.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
But we
there's
can't
not
get
much
Lego
else to-
Dimensions anywhere anymore,
Good.
can we?
You can get it here. I have it. Everyone can come hang out with me, and we'll play it.
Okay.
You can
I'll bring the
play it.
beer.
Okay. Sounds good. We have a plan. And you know, I just don't like them. It's not that they're okay. It's not that they're bad. I just don't find them interesting. And that's a personal thing. Like, I can't say, here's why they're not good. Here's what's bad about them. Because sometimes I think you can objectively critique something. Most of the time subjective, but sometimes there's an objective viewpoint of this is bad because of this metric. I just don't like them.
I find them terribly interesting. See, I don't. When it comes to Vastra and Jenny, it's been some years now, and seeing them again, I see obviously there are some flaws with them, but I do love them so much. And Strax is just entertaining. I saw the 50th anniversary in the movie theaters, and I know everybody now is all about thanks for coming to the theater where the movie was meant to be seen. Well, this was before that, and Strax pops up. He has this whole little bit about prepare yourself for the day of the Doctor. It's so
Strax is funny.
entertaining. And Dan Starkey, he is the best Sontaran. Always.
He is. I just feel like you can't take the Sontarans seriously after episode of that guy. He plays it so well. He does. He's amazing. He's funny. He's on point. But this is a race that's meant to be menacing, sinister, warmongering. Not let me help you out. Like, that's not the Sontarans. They are a clone race designed for one purpose. And
I understand what you're saying. At the same
also don't
time,
like the
I feel like
Silurian design of that era.
the design. Yeah,
I just don't like the human face of the Silurians have in that time.
Oh, well,
like, I prefer the classic.
I am of the other opinion, and it's probably because I was introduced to them with the human face first. But I used to play the Doctor Who. They had a web game. I can't remember what it was called, but you got to make your own character, and one of the options was to be a Slitheen. And so I always wanted to make a second account just to be a Slitheen as well. Have my own room in the TARDIS. It was great. So, core memories.
I like when the Doctor has friends. Like I actually wish he had gone back and visited even War of the Sontarans. Which one is War of the Sontarans?
I think
That was in Flux.
Oh, he played with the classic design of the Sontarans, right?
Yeah.
Same actor came in and did the Sontaran in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them, yeah.
It was a different one because they're clones.
But it's with the completely different design, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like the return to the design on that.
Is it a return really? It's still different. It's closer, but it's still different.
It's achening back to the classic design.
He looks like a baked potato now instead of just a potato.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought the reveal bit at the end of there's another, like, all that, it's fun. But it's kind of like the best part of it was that teaser at the end. And
The Doctor.
yeah, it was fine. It was fine. I love the return of the Great Intelligence. The fact that they brought it back in this era at all for the Snowman episode and this, and that it takes place before the original appearances for the second Doctor. At least the first one with the Snowman does, right?
Oh yeah, because he mentions the London Underground.
Right.
It's like he brings it to him. It's just like setting up that idea that the intelligence will use that.
Yeah, but it's I just really, really liked that. So I thought, and that actor, what's his name, who has been a doctor, hasn't he?
Yes,
Richard
he was
E.
the.
Grant.
But he's been two doctors. He was in Curse of Fatal Death. He was one of the doctors in there,
Right.
and he is the voice of the Schalke Doctor in Scream of the
Right.
Schalke.
Right.
Yeah, Richard E. Grant.
Yeah, he's great.
He's such a good actor. It's astounding how good of an actor he is.
That's
Okay.
my take.
Well, that means it's time for my take, which is actually going to be a little bit different. So when I saw this years ago, I loved this episode. I was so excited to revisit this episode because when I was young and getting ready to see the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, getting to see this episode, oh man, Clara, I love Clara. Oh, okay, this is very cool. A great villain, all this. Rewatching it, it is not as good as I remembered. So here's the thing. I love the ideas behind it. I really love the TARDIS graveyard, Trenzalore as a setting. It looks fantastic. All of that. I like the epilogue of River Song, the time stream, all that information, all that lead up. I love what's her name, Chris? The gang as a whole.
Oh, the Paternoster gang or Paternoster gang. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, I think the execution is where I have a problem. It starts out with Clara falling through the time stream, and she has her little bit. I was born to save the Doctor. Came in on a leaf. Blah blah blah. And it's just the visual effects in that falling scene are not good. They're not good at all. And so it's definitely a clunky start. And I think the dialogue works better after you get into the episode. But having the episode start that way just felt very out of place. And we've seen the episode before, Nightmare in Silver, and there's no lead up. So it's just sudden, okay? And all throughout it, I love the ideas behind it. I love, like I said, River Song, that whole scene where he goes ahead and kisses her. Wait, none of them can see you. I realize just how weird that might look. And then the reveal of the War Doctor. I love the War Doctor too. That whole concept, just the hidden incarnation. It's just got such a drama to it. But I think the execution in this episode it feels almost rushed. Like they had an idea of what scenes they wanted together, and they filmed them and they put them together, stitched. But the best parts of the episode are the parts where the Great Intelligence and Clara are spliced in between old footage, except for Colin Baker, because they had somebody in a wig and a costume. That's the second person to do that. And then just with all that, yes, Sean is saying it's so different from the other finales. And it is personally more dangerous, yes, but I just feel like there's something off. And I really like this episode because of all the ideas and stuff, all that going. I just don't think it's executed properly, which is why I was saying the movie, I feel the same way. There are a lot of decent ideas. There are a lot of parts that I enjoy, but overall, the movie has some major flaws that you can't ignore. The book, it makes it easier. I think it's better, and I think a novelization of Name of the Doctor would be a better way of going about it than the actual episode is.
Yeah, I feel like if the villains had more of a presence aside from like towards the end, it would have been a bit better. It's like, oh, here's the Whispermen. It's like, oh, okay. yeah, they're creepy looking. I like the designs, but like,
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I think would have worked for me? And I say this as somebody who actually, I like Clara as a companion quite a bit. And I like Clara better as a Capaldi companion, which is not what most people seem to agree with. I think the two of them work great together. And I enjoy all of that. However, I think she should have died.
I was going to say.
We had her mystery. Or she should have exited somehow. This closed out the loop of what we needed to know about her from her first appearance as Oswin or whatever.
Oswin.
Yeah, as Oswin. And so I think I needed that. Yeah.
I agree. I loved the Impossible Girl. I forgot. I was thinking through the episode. I forgot how possessive he got. It was a little odd. My Impossible Girl. Okay, you can cut back on that a little bit, Doctor.
He got a little creepy.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
One of my favorite lines is like when the 12th Doctor says, "I'm not your boyfriend." She's like, "I never said you were," and he's like, "You're not the one I'm reminding you." Whatever. Like,
I never said that was a fault of your own.
Yeah, something like that. And it's like that was a nice touch because it was a great reset for them. Their relationship fundamentally changed in the same way that Billie Piper Rose's and the 10th Doctor's changed in the opposite way. Like she started going, "Hey, I'm kind of into you now that you're not Eccleston."
Now that you're conventionally more attractive.
Minimally younger.
Actually, now that you mentioned it, this would have been like a better exit for Clara, because it would have just wrapped up her entire Impossible Girl arc.
So what we needed,
because after that, it's just like her arc then becomes, she's becoming more like the Doctor.
Yeah, and it's very.
Which I'm not a big fan of. I never liked that arc for her.
I appreciate that arc. I appreciate the writing for the arc and all of that, which I know, again, that's unpopular with a lot of people. But with this, you're right. If this had been longer, and that is a major flaw with Series 7, it should have been 2 different seasons. Amy and Rory getting their final season, their last hurrah, and then Clara gets a season for the Impossible Girl arc. You go ahead. And I'm going to say it now because there will be a chance one day to bring it up, but we should have had a Victorian Clara. We should have had Victorian Clara with her, with the Doctor, because we need companions from other times.
Multiple Claras. Why didn't he just have like 3 of them, 2 or 3 of them at one point? That would have been really interesting. Because there are multiple versions of her. He met at least 3 of them. What if he starts having to navigate traveling with multiples of them while he's unraveling their mystery?
That sounds like just fuel for fan fiction that we shouldn't talk about.
It doesn't have to be fan fiction. I'm a professional. That needs to be my audiobook.
I mean, to be fair, there is a 12th Doctor comic where he and Clara do meet another one.
God damn you, Chris. I had it. I had my genius idea. You took it.
They do meet another Clara, and he's wondering why she hasn't died, because that always seems to be the case, that every Clara in some way sacrifices themselves for the Doctor or dies.
This is a slight side segment because Jimmy brought this up because we're talking about Capaldi being cast as Dumbledore for the new Harry Potter series. No. As much as I love Capaldi and he's a fantastic actor, I cannot see him as Dumbledore. That is not a good choice. I'm sorry, Jimmy. The first Dumbledore is the best Dumbledore, and if he hadn't died, he should have been Dumbledore all the way through, because he was great. Dumbledore should feel a little older, more dignified. Not, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? Gentleman.
I'm looking for this comic now. I want to know who stole my idea before I got a chance to think of it.
I'm just going to find this writer. After your whole, I'm not slandering writers, but this writer in particular, he took
I'm not slandering them. I'm furious at them. That's completely different. I want to know if it's
So-
someone I know and why they're
You know,
in my brain.
you
Why
could
I'm
still
in
you could still do it. I mean, the 11th Doctor right now in Big Finish, his whole thing with his new companion is trying to find Clara. I gotta find Clara. So Valerie, you're going to help me out along the way, right? Your mom died, but oops. It-
I can't find this comic. It's gonna make me crazy.
he doesn't have to be anybody in the Harry Potter series.
But then who should be in there? Who should he be in Harry Potter? He should be Harry Potter. After an aging
Is
spell.
that old Harry Potter?
Like, sure, he's become professor of Hogwarts and don't do the goddamn books again. How about that?
Yeah, literally do anything
You
else.
should do.
And it's not
Like-
because I think they're like special. I just don't care about them and don't want to. I saw them. I read them. I'm done. Move on.
No, he's not a Lupin. Damn it. Okay. It's time for the Harry Potter corner, I guess. Listen, I love Peter Capaldi. There is no one in Harry Potter I could see him as. I think it's a flaw to
He's
do a.
He'd be perfect as Voldemort.
He doesn't have the face for it.
Makeup. Okay.
No.
After they forcibly remove his nose, he'll be fine.
No. His
It's-
face structure is all wrong. It's not serpentine at all.
He's gonna be not. Why would you think that Voldemort would look anything like the last Voldemort? None of these people are gonna look the same.
That's true. We're probably going to get Black Hermione now.
I would imagine.
Also, Landry, the comic is called Blood and Ice.
There we go. Now he
Find this
knows where to
person.
look. So,
Written by Jacqueline Rayner, who is a
The-
frequent Big Finish writer, I believe.
ooh.
Let's see. Who I don't know Jacqueline Rayner at all.
She's a producer for BBC Worldwide. Was an executive producer for the BBC.
Oh, so she got in. She got in from the inside. I see how it is. All right, let's see.
No, the guy who
Jackson
plays
Raynor.
Winston, the guy who plays Winston Churchill should be Hagrid. Jimmy.
He actually, I think he should be the chocolate frog that escapes on the train. Jacqueline Rayner stole my idea before I thought of it, and that's not okay. Writers, you're supposed to, if you have an idea, Jacqueline, if you're listening, you should hold on to it and check to see if I'm going to come up with it some years later.
Some years
Because-
late.
I claim
So here's-
all future ideas.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just
We're on the
think
same page.
she frog no. So here's the thing. Last thing I'm going to say about the Harry Potter series, it should not be a remake of the books. It should not be it should be its own thing. They could have gotten people to make a new story set in Hogwarts. They did it for the game, and the game is great. So you couldn't do it for a series, but you decided, no, let's remake the books instead. Which
I get that they're a brand new
Because
generation of six
they are creatively bankrupt. They have one idea and they have to do it 20 million times because they can't think, what if we did something new?
well, there are elements of the books that weren't put into the movies that I think could be done.
Yeah,
well.
we could
don't
have
care.
a whole
I
episode
do.
of Harry Potter sitting in the room of requirement going, I think my parents are dead. Oh, my parents are still dead.
I'm
I
so
don't care.
melancholy.
That's not what happens. You know it.
Oh, God, he's
Anyway.
so boring.
Because we absolutely needed to see, what was it, Peeves?
I mean, here's the thing.
I like Peeves.
Did Harry Potter ever reconcile the fact that his parents were kind of assholes? I mean,
Well, at least his dad was.
Yes, his dad was
Dad
an
was.
asshole. His mother was not.
and his mom picked that guy, so
Froggy, no.
Nicolas Cage is the next Voldemort.
Okay, I'm
Based
convinced.
off-
I'll watch the show.
I'd love that. Advada!
Did you see?
Gaddafi!
Did you see Renfield yet?
I haven't seen Renfield yet.
I haven't seen it.
It's a lot of fun, and
Saw
he does
Dungeons and
Dracula.
Dragons.
so well. I did too. It's really good.
I haven't seen any new movies. I had like 2 days off. I should have used one of them to watch some movies. The boy.
I am
who
the
lived.
boy who lived. I am the one to face Voldemort.
Oh, Christopher Walken is Harry Potter. Why don't we just get
Ron,
any,
no.
All right.
just
So
get any actor.
Doctor Who. Let's go back.
Nicolas Cage is the
should match
Doctor.
it.
Yep.
who is the Doctor?
Nicolas Cage is the Doctor.
You
Not the
just can't-
Daleks. The Daleks.
Well, you know what? We're going to go ahead and start this project right now.
Yep.
You'll be Nicolas Cage as
All
the Doctor. I'll be Christopher Walken as the Master, and we'll have this whole setup.
Guys, I gotta go. I gotta call it. On
Okay.
that note.
You want to give us your ranking before you leave?
Oh yeah. How many rankings do I get?
Out of
again?
10.
How do this one out of 10? I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Whoa!
I
Okay.
didn't like it that much. I thought it was fine. I thought it had moments. That's why it gets a 4.5. That the stinger.
You
at the
started
end, I'm
so
not even
positive.
What's that?
Even
Huh?
though you said you didn't like the gang, you started so positive that I'm surprised it's so low.
I'm okay. I probably being more realistic of 5.5. It's over average. It's not like the performances are bad. It's not like the dialogue is bad. It just felt like they were finally capping off a story that went too long with Clara, that didn't resolve itself. Like, and look at Doomsday with Rose. Look at the big moment where we find out what is special, what is on Donna's back, not just the back, but I mean what that was all about with her and the why she was special. All these things. Clara, this just didn't have the same oomph as it did for, say, Donna or Rose, who had similar trajectories. And I like all the performers. I should like this, and it just doesn't come together for me.
Okay.
5.5.
Wow. I'm
You missed
surprised. Well, okay, what about your other ranking?
No, it's a classic. It's not a classic. Classics get multiple rankings. This is considered a 5.5.
Classics
know-
have 4 to 8 stories, so you have to rank them each.
Chris, do you think next week I can talk to Joe. Do you think we should forego our usual setup and do Warriors Gate like we said earlier?
I know. I'll think about it.
Okay. We'll decide.
Because you're gonna have to remember, I don't have BritBox anymore because they took off Doctor Who. So how am I going to find a lot of classic episodes?
Wait,
Could
they
be in any
took
one of
Doctor Who off
those,
BritBox?
maybe. Yeah,
They took Doctor
Over
Who
there.
off BritBox?
Over there.
For you.
over here.
He's in Australia. We're safe.
I know where he is.
We're okay, Landry.
I'm happy for you about this.
I know. So I'm just gonna have to rely on what I have back here.
Okay. That's fair.
Okay. So we might be doing Big Finish next week as
Yeah.
planned. So Sean, I want to go ahead and bring up, says that this is a 10 out of 10 for him. He just loves it so much. It's peak Doctor Who for him. I understand when I watched this originally, this was a 10 out of 10 for me too. But I think when I watched that, I hadn't seen all of Doctor Who yet. So I was modernly biased.
They did an amazing event with it.
Yeah.
It's a huge event.
Yeah.
You know, and it made it everyone. I mean, I could see how people got really swept up in that event too. And I'm not saying that's the basis for either of your rankings, Sean. No shade at you. Just that I think people in general really got, and that's good. That's why we have events, so that people can feel that excitement. But I do think for some people, it colored the experience. It colors the perception of the quality. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a fine episode. It's okay. But what do you guys?
Yeah. But I'll say Jimmy said 6.5 now. Chris, give us your ranking out of 10.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 7. It's good to a degree. I like a lot of parts of it, but yeah, thinking about it now, it could have been done better.
Yeah.
You know, to quote Chibnall, it could have been a lot better.
Could have been written slightly better.
Could have been written slightly better.
For me, I think it could have been not written better because the writing is great. Landry is right. The dialogue is great. I love the characters even more than Landry does. Most of the characters on there, everyone there is great. But there's something about the episode that feels off. It's squeezed into this tiny little package when it almost needed room to breathe. If it was a classic episode, this would have been a great, like, what, four-parter?
It just needed more, maybe.
Yeah,
like more time to build into it. Like, cut Silver Nemesis out. Like, get rid of that and give us an next episode of this to build into it.
Yeah, this felt like
Nightmare,
this should have been a two-parter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where the stakes were incredibly raised in the first part, they continue in the second part, and then you have the resolution with the Impossible Girl.
Yep.
And we have consequences, because I don't feel like we get any consequences that are dramatic enough. And again, Clara is I really like Clara. I'm not like I wanted her to go, but her going would have made sense, so
much more than her actual going.
maybe if she kind of died, but she's rebooted, so he goes and finds her again, and she doesn't remember him, but he remembers her, and they start having new adventures together.
That's basically what happens if you think about it, because the Clara that he has is a babysitter, and then in the next episode, she's teaching at Coal Hill School.
Yeah, she did get a
suddenly, and she rides motorcycles now. Okay.
But she remembers
I always keep forgetting that. That's such a huge, just like jump in her character that she went from babysitter to in an unspecified amount of time. She's now suddenly a teacher at Coal Hill, just because it's an anniversary and Coal Hill.
It's a little weird.
Yeah,
but
no,
I understand. Time Lord, so.
I understand what you're saying, Nishan, and I'm not. I know it. You're not saying it because of what it was for me. I'm saying why it was 10 out of 10 originally for me and why it changed. Yeah. I'm glad that you like it.
I'm also saying that is the basis of your opinion. I'm saying that I see that I know people who got swept up in it. That's not true for you. You watched it many times, and you are critical, and I appreciate that.
We appreciate you, Ishan.
We do. But I've been guilty of it myself, where you get these. Doctor Who has been historically very good at making us passionate about like anniversaries. I mean, the 50th was everything about. They just layered it so deeply on us that it was phenomenal. It was hard not to love every part of it because it was just so exciting. But while I really did enjoy the follow-up to this with where we get Tennant back and all that, though I needed Eccleston in it, but whatever. This one didn't do it.
Okay, you have to pick one. Eccleston or McGann?
Wait.
For the 50th. If you're going to go ahead and wipe out the War Doctor, which one do you want to be the one that has to push the button?
I want it to be McGann, because it can't be Eccleston, because he's just regenerated when we meet him in his first appearance with Rose. He's checking out his ears.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Big Finish said, "Hey, there's a little bit of a gap there."
Oh,
thanks, John Hurt.
That doesn't make any sense. No, I would have taken it as McGann because he's the least likely in a lot of ways. I mean, he's less likely than McCoy, certainly. McCoy would press him.
McCoy, the first day of the war, would have just pressed it. No, he would have manipulated the Time Lords into pressing it for him.
I understand what you're saying about checking the ears and stuff, but you also have to think about the fact that right after that, Rose goes and meets Clive, and there's suddenly 15,000 photos of the Ninth Doctor on random adventures.
True, but he's a time traveler.
But he doesn't have a gap. See, that's a key thing. That all doctors do have this like gap between companions, but the Ninth Doctor doesn't have that. He has Rose, and he doesn't drop her off. He stays with Rose.
No. He does. He has a gap. He has a gap in that first episode. He leaves, and then he meets her again, and he could have been gone for 100 of his own years during that. And then he gets in the TARDIS, and he vanishes, and he comes back and invites her in. There's another gap for him.
Yeah,
he only needs a second to have a gap.
That's not a good gap.
For him, it could have been 100 years.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like he could have done that with Sarah Jane, you know. Oh, by the way, hello. Sorry to just drop you off randomly.
There's
Goodbye.
Where the Fifth Doctor leaves, and you'll know this one. The Fifth Doctor leaves. Was it Cleopatra or whoever it was, Egyptian queen, and I forget which one it was, and in England for like 4 years or something. He goes off and has other adventures, and comes back to pick him up years later, and they're really mad at him because they were abandoned. They were working in an inn or something, a tavern for like maybe it was 2 years.
Yeah, but see, that's different because he left them for years and came back after time had passed for him. For Rose, he disappears and comes right back, which the Doctor never does. Like he doesn't
a time traveler.
Yes, but he's a very poor one.
Time traveler. I have to go.
All right. My ranking is I think it's a 6-6.
6-6.
No, not 6-6. It's just 6. Because 6.6. No. Actually,
okay,
no, I'm
so
going to agree with
Jimmy.
Yeah, back in the day when I was swept up in the hype, it was 10. Now it is actually what Jimmy said. It's a 6.5 because there's so many good elements to it. I love all the characters. I love this. The problem is how it's put together. It's not stitched well, if that makes sense.
The fact that it gives us the great Lego Dimensions level, I'm going to bump mine up to a 5.9.
Good.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
See you, Landry. And that's pretty much it. Yes, the Ninth Doctor has pre-Rose, Sean. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't have anything in between, which I always feel is a mistake. Big Finish needs those gaps. Come on, RTD. Why didn't you think of this? It was the early days. He had no way of knowing. Because it's actually very funny when you look at the old ones. If you look at their description on the website, they go ahead and tell you this takes place between the episodes duh and duh. They were so busy trying to fit into that. I don't feel like they do that as much anymore. You know, I don't. No, and they don't worry about it. So, which is fair. The War Doctor is 800 when he regenerates. The Ninth Doctor is 900. So there is 100 years somewhere, as Landry says. Yes, but not with Rose. He picks up Rose, and that's it.
Well, to be fair, with the new Doctors, you can easily tell where the gap is. See, with 9, it has to be pre-Rose. With 10, it's either between Rose and Martha, or between Martha and Donna, or after Donna. With 11, you could honestly just use the whole honeymoon excuse with Amy and Rory. You can have, I don't know, they've done it already with Valerie, with like post Amy Rory before Clara. Capaldi after Clara.
Yeah, where he's now no, not really, because
after
he goes
Clara,
straight to
before
Vault.
Bill. Does he go straight to the Vault though?
I think it's something close to that, isn't it? So here's the thing, though. You just reminded me that we do not have an out of time 4 with the 7th Doctor, and that's just criminal. Who would you want them to go against, though?
Like what, foe?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've had Daleks, we've had Cybermen, we've had Weeping Angels.
So two
One that would be-
classic, one classic, two classic, one modern. So
I guess they'd have to do another modern one to kind of balance it out.
what's a modern one that really has the same shtick? You know, the same. It's the Sleep No More sequel we always wanted. So.
Hell yeah.
I guess the Silence, but the Silence were more, oh, look, they're cool. But they don't really amount to anything.
I feel like it'd have to be, I don't know. They'd probably go new era Sontarans.
I don't think that'd be good either.
I don't know.
Maybe it's just time to do one more Dalek. Retribution of the Daleks. 7 and 10. And Ice Warriors. That is a good option. I think that is the winner, Sean. Yes, you're right, Jimmy. It's time to end the show. So you have out of time 4 with 7, out of time 5 with 8, out of time 6 with 9. That's right.
And out of time 6 will work.
No. So out of time 6, you go all the way back to the beginning with Noonan as the first Doctor. There you go. But that's it. Thank you so much. No, we're ending now. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week for Mad Men with the Box. Allons-y!